Hello, beautiful souls. Today I want to call a spade a spade. No sugarcoating it, no trying to wrap it up and tie a ribbon on it and sit it under the Christmas tree. I want to call a spade about the experience of having MECFS. No matter how many gifts it has brought me in my life, no matter where the illness has led me to as a result of recovering, there was one thing that I wanted more than anything else when I was sick with MECFS, and it's probably the one thing that you want too. I wanted to stop crashing. That's what I wanted. On April 3rd at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am hosting a free webinar that's called How to Stop the Boom or Bust Cycle. And I thought really for a long time about calling this webinar How to Stop Crashing. Because you may be new to this experience, you may not even know what the boom or bust cycle is, or maybe you do know what the boom or bust cycle is and you think in order to stop the boom or bust cycle, I need to stop crashing, right? That makes sense. But I chose not to name this webinar How to Stop Crashing because the truth is, my friends, and it's gonna sound backwards to you, okay? So bear with me now for a minute. You cannot recover if you stop crashing. Now, hold on before the armies come for me and shoot me down. I am not saying that you should push yourself into crashes and that will help you recover. It does not. You've experienced the phenomenon of crashing over and over again and eventually lowering your baseline. And we're going to talk in the webinar about why that actually happens, what's going on physically in the body. But the point I want to make is that you cannot recover without crashes. And I don't call them crashes, I call them wobbles, but they are a necessary component when understood properly in order to get well. So I decided to name this webinar How to Stop the Boom or Bust Cycle because, and I will explain to you in the webinar what that means, but the boom in this cycle is when you start to feel better and you physically feel like you can go do things and you way overdue. And there's a very real event happening in the body. It isn't just that the nervous system goes haywire. There are things happening cellularly in our mitochondria, in our neuroendocrine system, right? The boom is when you feel better and you do a lot. The bust, though, the bust is the crash you want to avoid. That crash we're going to talk about in the webinar is the one that you want to stop having. However, if a crash to you means I've overdone it and I've had symptoms, if you have a mindset that symptoms must be avoided in order to recover, then what ends up happening is you learn how to pace, to cope with the illness, but recovery remains out of reach. That's been my experience, and that's what I've seen in every person that I know who's gotten well. So I didn't name the webinar How to Stop Crashing because you need to understand how to engage symptoms. You need to understand how to stop doing more than your body can handle so that you can stabilize. But once you stabilize, then, my friend, you have to know and understand how to challenge yourself gently. I call it pushing up against the soft fence. And in this event, many times, you will have crashes, as I don't call them. You will have symptoms. In this webinar, we're going to talk about how to have symptoms that propel you forward in recovery. And we're going to talk about how we got into the illness. The way we got into the illness in reverse is how we can get out of the illness. We actually flip the process of crashes that make you sicker and sicker. We flip that on its head so that you can get better and better. If this resonates with you in any way and you want to watch this webinar, just come hang out with me for an hour. This is what I'm going to be doing for 1 hour, and we're going to learn from each other. I'm going to learn from you and your experience. You're going to learn from me and mine because we are a tribe of MECFS warriors in different stages of wellness. I am in the post-recovery stage, but recovery is something I work on every day. So I hope to see you April 3rd. If it is not in your time zone, sign up. You can watch it anytime. I'm going to teach you guys some tangible tools to begin to understand the difference between boom or bust and stabilizing and expanding. Really looking forward to seeing you and sending you a lot of love. Ciao.